Diana, can I talk with you for a minute? I have some things to ask you about regarding my wedding. What do you want to know? Also, shouldn't you be asking someone like Mom for help with something like the wedding? My husband and I never had a wedding, so we're not going to be that helpful, I feel. Well, actually, this isn't directly about the wedding. This is about the people I'm planning on inviting to the wedding. What? Do you want to just call about this? It might be easier for us to talk about all of it that way. No, I'd much rather talk to you about this through text. I feel like over the phone it'd be a bit hard for me to tell you. What are you trying to get at here? Just tell me what you have to say. I'm all ears here. I've already told you before that I plan on quitting my job since I'm getting married, right? You did say something about that to me before. And you plan to go to your husband's company after the wedding, right? Isn't he the guy running the company that you've always wanted to be a part of? Before you always complained about how you never got hired by that company, so it must be great knowing now you have an easy way of getting hired there. I know that. Well, it's actually his dad that runs the company. He just happens to be next in line when it comes to becoming the CEO. And, that means that this wedding will have a lot of very powerful people coming to see it. Well, I assumed that would be the case. So, well, I don't want to have to say this. It's not something I like to think about. Just get on with it already. Or better yet, just type me a paragraph about what you have to say, all right? I'll take a look at it later. Wait one sec. I'll tell you. What? Well, when it comes to the wedding, I don't want to invite people that don't belong there. That's what his dad is also saying. As you know, that company is very big, right? So he has to maintain a good image of his company even at the wedding. In other words... So he's told me that he doesn't want for you or your husband to come to the wedding. Is that really something that the man that'll become your father-in-law is saying? I understand that you're going to become his son's wife and all, but I am still your older sister and my husband is your brother-in-law. We would both really like to be at your wedding. So I'm a bit suspicious as to why your husband's dad wouldn't want for us to be there. Well, I said there will be a lot of powerful people at this wedding, a lot of elite people, so it's very important. If people who weren't very well off came to this wedding, it would probably spoil the mood for everyone else there. They might all start to think that the wedding is a joke, you know? So this is what your husband's dad told you? I would never say any of this myself. I would really like for you to be at my wedding, all right? What was that about not being well off? My husband and I are both working full-time, and we tend to bring in some decent money. So I don't feel as though either of us aren't well off. But you both never went to college and do your own thing for work, right? You guys aren't a part of any larger company or anything, especially not a massive company like my husband's dad runs. Just because we don't work for large companies doesn't mean we're automatically poor. But of course you guys both appear to be poor based on that. From what I've heard, doing your own work as a job isn't going to really make all that much money. And since neither of you graduated from any university, that's another thing hampering your guys' image. Really, since you both have never gone through the process of job hunting even, you probably don't know much about the working world. And these are all things your husband's father is saying? That's right. Of course, I would never think things like this. I see. Then I would like to go and talk to him about my husband and I. Can you go and tell him that we'd like to meet him in person? What? You want to talk with him? Are you sure? Well, yeah, I am. I want to know why he's so against my husband and I coming to the wedding. You can't do that. If you do that, you'll only be making the situation worse. But you want for us to be there at the wedding, right? I do, but... And that's why I would like to go and see why he won't let the bride's sister and brother-in-law come to her wedding. I'm sure we can help him understand that we aren't some kind of low-life monsters. I don't want to make a huge deal of this, though. After all, this isn't just about the wedding, but my chances of working for that company. I've already left my previous company, and it would be a real shame if I wasn't able to get into the company of my dreams, right? Diana, please understand what I'm saying here. It's really difficult for me to ask this of you, but I can't let my chances of working for that company slip away from me. So you're just going to let him think your older sister and her husband are lowlifes and not fight for your family? I understand that you would still like to celebrate my marriage with me, so after the wedding is over with, we will come and see you guys. By the way, you said you guys moved out of your old place, right? So I have no idea where you're living at now. It might take me a few days after the wedding, but I'll come out to see you guys in your new place, as well as pick up the wedding gifts you have for me, all right? I find it very strange that your own older sister isn't allowed to come and see your wedding. And the reason we're not allowed to be there is because of what your in-laws think of me? And what they think is that because I never went to college and worked for myself, I am poor? I'm not okay with anyone thinking things like that of me, so I need to go have a word with him. How are you even going to talk to him? You don't have his number or email, right? Don't worry, your older sister will figure something out. Wait, Diana, you can't do that! I don't want you to make this situation into a battle for me. I'm asking you to please stop all of that. All right, Morgan. I'll do my best not to make any problems out of this. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Harrison. Do you have a little bit of time to spare?
Of course I do. I'm assuming this is about business. I would just like to say that myself and my company are very thankful for the deal we've struck up with you, so thank you.
And I am very pleased myself that we were able to work out such a deal with you. My husband is very happy as well, and we think the contracts we've made will do everyone well going ahead.
I love hearing that from you and your husband. I'll make sure to let my heads in the HR department know of this so they can spread the good news.
Now that we've gotten that out of the way.
Is there something else you'd like to talk about? If this is about some concerns you might have still, I can get someone to talk with you about that right away.
No worries, this has nothing to do with work. I just wanted to ask you why you might think that because my husband and I both never went to college and run our own business, you think of us as lowlifes? If that seems to be how you really feel about the two of us, then I'll have no other choice but to cancel those contracts we plan on having. However, I really don't want to have to do that, hence why I wanted to confirm with you yourself about how you truly feel about my husband and I. That's why I've contacted you today, Mr. Harrison.
Excuse me? But what are you talking about?
Your son and my little sister Morgan are going to have a wedding soon, right? I'm aware they aren't even married yet, but my sister seems to think things are so well between your son and her that she calls him her husband already.
I'm aware of the upcoming wedding. I was so happy to use the chance for our families meeting one another as a way of starting business with you a while back, especially now that we have plans to sign an official contract and everything. Both my son and I are very thankful for the relationship he has with your sister. The wedding is being planned to be the largest and most decadent ever thrown at the location, so I hope you're looking forward to it.
And you happened to tell my sister not to invite us as you're afraid that by having two so-called lowlifes at the wedding, it would ruin the atmosphere.
She told you that I said that about you both?
Did you not make those claims?
Of course I didn't. I know that this wedding is a major event for everyone that's involved, and I'm even one of the proud sponsors of it. But I would never ask that you and your husband stay away from it.
Is that so?
I'm not at all sure why Morgan would say that I feel that way about you two, but both myself and my family are looking forward to having you there. I'm sure your sister and your family must feel the same way, right? I don't think there should be anyone asking for you and your husband to stay away.
Hearing that from you has really relieved some of my stress. And that's what I was expecting to hear from you as well, but I just had to be sure.
That's what you were expecting to hear as well.
Well, I just never expected you, of all people, to say things like that about myself and my husband. Now, is there one more thing I can ask you before we stop talking?
What's that?
Well, if I were to not show up on the day of your son's wedding to Morgan, would you be able to take it upon yourself to rethink letting your son marry her?
Why would you ask me something like that? I'm not really sure what that all means exactly.
Well, if I'm not at that wedding and you still allow those two to get married, then I will have to rethink that contract we want so badly.
Wait a second, please. What is going on here?
Well, when the time comes, I can explain what I mean. If I told you what I meant now, then you'd try to do everything in your power to stop what might happen. I would just like for us all to wait for the truth to be revealed, and from there we can all make the correct decisions.
I'm not really sure what all of this means. But if you don't show up to that wedding, then guess I'll have no choice but to cancel and take my son away from Morgan for you. After all, that would be in the best of both of our interests, right?
Correct. Now for the time being, let's just all continue looking forward to that wedding, and wish for both your son and my sister to become happily married. Diana, why didn't you listen to what I told you before? I talked to you before about how my father-in-law didn't want you to come to this wedding, right? You have to understand that I came here regardless of what he said, because I'm your sister. Well, so far not everyone has come here yet besides some of the family, but as time goes on, more and more of the guests will be coming. A lot of my father-in-law's shareholders and those that he considers respectable will all be coming here. Even some of his most important customers will be coming. So please, do not stick around for the rest of this wedding once it starts. Just take your husband and go. I have one thing to ask you first. You're telling me that the groom's father doesn't want either myself nor my husband here, right? I really don't want to have to tell you things like this. But he happens to see a lot of potential in this wedding as well. So, yes, it is terrible for him to ask that you and your husband both stay away, but it's for the best when it comes to his company. I myself don't like the idea of having you both go because it might ruin things between our families. I really, really don't want you both leaving. I love you so much and want to make sure that we stay close to one another forever. But this is what my father-in-law wants. So you seem to love me very much. Of course I do. Are you sure? What are you trying to say? I love you, and that's why I don't want to hurt you. This wedding is going to have a lot of elite people here, as well as a lot of very rich people. There's no telling what you might say to them, especially during the time after the ceremony. You might say things to people that my father-in-law doesn't want you talking to, and that's no good for him. So please, Diana, when people really start to pour in, would you please take your husband and leave? Morgan, tell me the truth. If you tell me the truth right now, you'll be saving yourself a lot of time. Actually, let me go ahead and tell you what I think you want to say. You really want to say to me that you don't want my husband and I here. Am I correct? This isn't what your father-in-law is saying, but what you're wanting to say, right? No, this is really what he's saying about you both right now. I see. Well, then I'm going to complain to him about this right now. He's standing right in front of my eyes right now, so I can make this quick. What? Right now, he's talking with the rest of the family in the changing room as everyone gets ready for your wedding. Wait a second. If you do that to me, it'll be no good for anyone. So then what you're really trying to tell me is that it's you that doesn't want my husband and I here and not him? Hence the reason you don't want me going up to him and complaining? You're afraid that if I do, I'll learn who really doesn't want me here right now. Look, Morgan, now is your only chance to quit it with all this crap and tell me the truth. This isn't about what one person is saying about us. What are you saying? Are you seriously going to keep trying that with me? Well, I guess this is always how you've been. You've always told me what you've been wanting to say to me, but while saying it came from someone else's mouth. Also that you wouldn't look like the jerk, right? That's not true at all. What about the times you'd tell Mom I didn't want chicken for dinner when it was really you who hated chicken? Or what about those times you told me my friends didn't want to play with me anymore when it was really you that didn't want me going out and having fun with them? You would always try making yourself look like the victim, or would always try to make it seem like you were everyone's friend. I felt this kind of emotion from you for a very long time as well, Morgan. That emotion, of course, being hate. I told you, you have it all wrong. You really think I haven't noticed what's going on here? I know about how you've been the one talking crap about me behind my back to everyone. And how you'd sit behind bushes throwing rocks at me, and then later say you saw some of my friends doing it to me. That's why once I graduated from high school, I immediately left the house and your bullcrap. So tell me what you really think. I never wanted for some moneyless lowlives to come to my frickin' wedding. There we go. I knew that was how you felt all this time, yet you proceeded to beat around the bush for way too long. You and your husband both never went to college and have to rely on yourselves for income now. So I don't want either of your moneyless bodies coming in and sitting with the rest of my family today. Do you not see that the rest of the people here are on completely different levels from you both? I am finally getting married into a family who is known for their massive company. In other words, I've finally struck gold and will never have to worry about money again. Yet I'm struck with embarrassment by the thought of two poor losers coming in and sitting with my family. So let me tell you right now that I don't want either you or that idiot husband of yours here any longer. So what you're saying is that I'm an embarrassment to you and to the family? That's 100% right. Has there ever been a family not embarrassed by their uneducated and poor family member before? Of course there hasn't been one. So with that, you two uneducated and moneyless freaks leave my wedding right now. Well then, that's it for the contract. What? Contract? What are you going on about? What I'm talking about right now is the contract your husband's father's company made with my husband and I. Huh? I have no idea what contract you're going on about. What's the company that your soon-to-be father-in-law runs? He runs a company dealing in food. The company happens to run a bunch of restaurants as well and supplies a bunch of other restaurants and stores with food. The company's also manufactured and still manufactures all kinds of frozen foods as well as freeze-dried foods. It's the company whose food probably goes into everyone's mouth. And I've been wanting to join the new department that was created to develop new kitchen appliances. All right then. And did you know that the company was planning on putting all their products into supermarkets all over the country, as well as into all sorts of gas stations and convenience stores? It's expected for that company to roll out a new way of keeping food good for longer outside of being frozen. Did you know that that's the reason why they want to start supplying supermarkets and gas stations and convenience stores? They'll have some of the best foods ready to eat on the shelf. I know about all of that. Well, the people behind the development of that new preservation technique is none other than my husband and I. What do you mean? I never explained this to you, did I? My husband and I run a restaurant. A restaurant? And while we run this restaurant, we are also doing research on ways to preserve foods in a more healthy way. We also work in making really good dishes for dieting and such, which we serve both in our restaurant and online via recipes. We even have videos on YouTube showcasing our newest ideas in the culinary world. We don't show our faces or anything online, but many people know that our business is one of the best in the dieting world. You guys run a restaurant, do research, and run a YouTube channel? Wait, is this possibly what my husband was talking about? He was going on about this huge deal he'd be making for the company with some really popular researchers. He's even been watching their YouTube videos and recreating some of the dishes they've showcased. And for this wedding, I've been on a diet using meals from that YouTube channel. Are you both the ones behind all of that? I believe that would be us he's talking about. He knew about how we have a really successful restaurant and about how we made some new advancements in food preservation, and asked if we could work together to spread that new advancement around across the U.S. We agreed to the deal being made at the time, but I'm afraid now that I'm going to have to cancel all that. This is all a lie, right? I never knew a thing about the work you did. And you never asked me about any of it either. Instead, just making fun of me for never going to college and saying that makes me poor automatically. Well, look, no single person that never goes to college should end up with a good job, right? I just assumed you worked as a part-timer and never made the kind of money a salaried worker makes. And when it comes to you and your husband, you guys never had a wedding and neither of you wear any branded clothing. It's totally normal for me to think of you both as moneyless lowlives. Neither of us care for brand clothing, and we just chose not to have a wedding where we invited anyone. To tell you the truth, we had a private wedding with just the two of us, and it took place in the Maldives. The Maldives? And for our honeymoon, we traveled the world, going to all sorts of places. We got to see so many cool things in Europe and Asia, as well as experience all the amazing food. You guys traveled the world together? You're making it sound like it was nothing to you both. It wasn't nothing to us, but when you do things like that so often, it doesn't seem all that special anymore. I mean, we have to travel for our work as well, so it's become sort of this work-related thing rather than a luxury to us. Are you kidding me? You both travel that much? That must mean you both are loaded if you're able to do and say all of that. So does this mean you understand what all you misunderstood about us? Well, even if you are able to understand the people my husband and I are, we are still heading home like you asked. And I have no clue what's in store for you once your husband's dad finds out about this. What? Hold on a second. You can stay here all you want now. It was just a simple mistake on my part. And if you're saying you've made a deal with his company, that makes you a customer to him, right? If you don't stick around for the wedding today, I'll be screwed. What will everyone say if they find out I kicked you out of here? Hey, Diana. I'm so sorry, Diana. I was totally in the wrong for all of that, so please forgive me. You shouldn't be seeking my forgiveness. All I did was what you asked for, right? But after you left, things got really bad for me. My husband's father went and canceled the wedding on us and was furious at me. And even my husband says he's going to rethink our marriage. I warned him about this. Also, would you stop calling him your husband? You warned him? I said that if I don't end up showing up for the whole wedding, to rethink that marriage between his son and you. Why would you do that to me? I felt bad that he never knew a thing about the real you, but I was never going to say anything that would ruin your wedding, right? I just told him that if I'm not there, then he should rethink things is all. And, well, you told me not to be there, so... Would you stop blaming me for something I didn't do? Well, you should have just kept your mouth shut about you not being there as well. That was the plan. And you never went and kicked me out of your wedding, right? What? This is what you get for being a turd. Why did you do this to me? Right after you guys left the wedding, I had to go out to the lobby and talk to both my fiancé and his father. They both started to tear into me about how that once-in-a-lifetime deal would be ruined because of me. You did say you planned on working for that company, right? Well, you should be more aware that this company is family-based and they all rely on telling the truth to one another about everything. If someone like you, who ended up lying about what the CEO said about one of his customers being at the wedding, were to join their company, it would spell trouble for the future. So I'm sure that none of them would like you in their company anymore, would they? Well, because of all that, everybody else in the lobby, all those elites and those rich people, all heard what they had to say to me. And now I'm no longer going to be hired by them. I've already left my previous company, so now there's nowhere for me to go. Well, that's a shame for you. Why the hell did you do all of this to me? Telling him to rethink the marriage? They're now asking that I pay for the wedding's cancellation fees. This was going to be a very expensive wedding for us to show off to everyone, and now I'm going to have to pay every penny of it. And since the wedding was canceled, all the gifts to me are gone now. Like I said, it sucks to be you. They've told me they don't want a lying employee like me to be a part of their company at all. And that's the truth. What the hell is wrong with you? It's not my fault that all the crap you've dished out is coming back at you now. So please give it up with all the complaining and leave me alone. This is your problem, is it not? You're my freaking sister. Do something to save me. Do something to make things better between my father-in-law and I. Help me get everything I lost back. I don't have time for that. I have YouTube videos to make. And I have a restaurant to manage. I will apologize for everything, so please, at the very least, make that deal with their company, please. If you do that, then I'm sure they'll rethink things regarding the marriage. I'm really sorry, but I have better things to do than care about you. I mean, you're a real dick to me, so why should I bother with you at all? Please, just handle things yourself for once. No way. You paid all that money to go to such a distinguished university, but didn't seem to learn a thing about acting like an adult. Please, Diana, I promise I'll make all of this up to you. I was relying on this wedding for everything. I had to borrow loads of money for this dress and my parts of the payments. Diana? Please, just come and help me, Diana. Please. It turns out that Morgan and her fiancé were going to hand in their marriage documents right after the wedding, so that ended up falling through. And Morgan was made responsible for paying for the whole wedding. Of course, all of this meant that she would not be getting hired by her fiancé's dad's company, and when she tried to go home to our mom and dad, they turned her away. This wasn't all for Morgan, though, as everyone that was in the lobby at the time of her getting chewed out learned the truth about what kind of person she is. And this led to a lot of people completely avoiding her. As of right now, I'm aware that Morgan had to leave town and moved someplace far away from here. As for my husband and I, we decided to go through with the deal, and starting next month, our preservation technology will be used to put food into all sorts of stores and gas stations all over the U.S. I'm sure some of those stores are even located in whatever town my sister moved to, so she'll be able to see everything went fine on our end.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Celine, are you there? I have some huge news that I just have to tell you right now. Xavier and I got married! Can you believe it?
Wait, what? Cassidy, what are you talking about? What do you mean that you and Xavier are married now?
I knew that it would shock you, but now this means that I can finally have my dream life of being a housewife. I won't ever have to have a job or work, and I'll just get to hang out at home all day. It'll be so amazing.
But you can't really be serious about this, right? Cass, please tell me that this is some kind of prank that you're pulling on me?
What do you mean? You do remember just who I'm talking about, don't you? I'm talking about the same Xavier that you were married to, but then I stole him away from you and you've been all alone ever since, remember?
But I mean, I haven't heard from you at all since you did that to me. It's been 3 whole years since we last talked. And I had no idea that you and Xavier were still together at all, but I guess you two are married now? I really just didn't see this coming today at all, if I'm being honest.
Well, I just wanted to say that I really am sorry for what I did back then. But I remember when I did, you kept trying to bug us with all your fake threats about suing us for seeing each other while you and him were still married. Do you remember how mad you were? I mean, you were blowing up my phone so much that I finally went and got myself a new number. But now that 3 years have passed, so have the statute of limitations for you being able to sue us. So I figured it was safe to finally reach out to you again.
So basically, you were just hiding from me so that you wouldn't have to be punished for what you did? That's why you didn't talk to me for 3 whole years? All because it was still part of your plan to get away with stealing my husband from me?
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. When you put it like that, it makes me sound really bad. I mean, I think it's kind of clever on my part, to be honest. I planned it out, looked up the laws, and I was able to steal your husband right from under your nose and get away with it, too. I don't have to pay you a dime either. I basically pulled off the perfect heist.
And in the meantime, you ruined countless relationships, not just my marriage, but even our own relationship, Cass. But if you're reaching out to me to tell me this, I wonder if you've also told Jeremy, who you were dating, before you got with Xavier?
Jeremy? Oh, whoa, I totally forgot about him! Man, you have a really good memory, sis. Do you know that? I mean, he had completely fallen off the map for me, if I'm being perfectly honest.
You're kidding me. You and him were together for so long before you did what you did to us both.
Yeah, sure, but that's all in the past now, and I don't really have to dwell on all the men I've ever seen in my life. Especially a loser like him. Just why do you think I traded up to get your husband from you instead? I mean, I didn't even save his number when I got my new phone, so I certainly haven't told him about Javi and I's marriage.
How could you say that about such a nice man? I thought he was really lovely. If anyone is the loser, it's you for ditching such a nice man to steal your own sister's husband. I still don't get how you could do that to me and Jeremy. You really are just horrible. Do you know that? Why did you even bother reaching out to me after all this time?
Now it all comes out. I knew that you were still sore about this. Oh man, it really is funny watching you get so upset over a text. You're just mad because you are outsmarted by your little sister and abandoned by your husband. Admit it.
What is even the point of this conversation? What do you want? Did you just want to reach out to me to make me upset and insult me?
Of course not. I just wanted to let you know that Javi and I are still together. The real thing that I wanted to bring to you about is that he's working for a huge company right now and I don't have to do a thing. Just think about it. If you were still married to Javi, then you could be living my life. But you aren't. I remember when I was with Jeremy, he had just transferred out of his old job to some new one at a really lame place. They weren't even going to pay him that much, but he wanted it for the vacation time that he would get. I knew then that I could never be with a man who didn't have the same ambitions as me.
But you know that Jeremy's old job was really hard on him. I mean, you were always complaining about how late he worked. There were even times when he collapsed on the job because of how exhausted he was. Of course he would want something with more time off. And just what ambitions are you talking about? You literally just want to marry rich so you don't have to do any work.
You have no idea what it was like being with Jeremy. Besides, if I'm not going to be with a man who doesn't make a lot of money, then there's just no point in being with him at all. And just what is wrong with my ambitions? Everyone knows that a woman's place is in the house anyways. I just so happened to want to make sure that my house was a really nice one and that I would never have to worry about money again.
You really are just delusional. Do you know that?
Don't be mad at me just because I saw what I wanted and took it. I know the real reason you're upset is because you knew that Javi had this potential in him and I stole him from you. Ever since then, you've had to go out and look for another rich man. I was lucky since you went out and did all the hard work of finding him for me. And now I have a husband with a bright, bright future ahead of him and I won't ever have to worry about a thing in my life again.
Is that really all you think a marriage is about? How much money your husband makes? I mean, is that the only reason that you and Xavier have been together this long?
I am not even going to begin to try and describe to you the level of strategy and planning that I'm operating on. My mind is like an enigma that you couldn't even begin to unravel. But it certainly does help that I'm the cute younger sister. You might have been okay as a housewife, but I certainly look better doing it.
You know, when I was with Xavier, anytime I asked him to help around the house or said anything that he saw as a complaint, he would always yell at me. He would get upset and told me that I was lucky to have him and that I should just shut up and go along with what he wanted.
Well, he never ever treats me like that. Probably because he sees me as his beautiful bride and not like the maid that you were to him. He even gives me plenty of spending money whenever I ask for it.
Oh, well, good for you then, Cass.
Oh, come on, don't be upset just because my life is so much better than yours. I know that your life really sucks right now, but I'm sure that it'll get better one day when you find the right person. But until then, just know that I'm loving my life with your ex-husband.
You really think that my life sucks right now? What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, please. You don't have to pretend like it isn't true for my sake. I mean, you had it all. You were living the housewife's dream, and then I took it from you. Then you had no home, no job, no nothing. I completely ruined your whole life. And it's only been 3 years. I'm sure that your life is still in complete shambles ever since I did what I did to you.
Well, you really shouldn't be making those kinds of assumptions because I'm actually in the best place that I've ever been. So I'm glad that you took Xavier from me because now I'm able to live how I want and I'm really enjoying life. Anyways, if you could not waste my time with stupid texts like this, I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Celine, what is the matter with you? Why aren't you responding to me at all? I sent you a bunch of pictures from my wedding and you haven't said a single word to me.
Well, yeah, I asked you to stop talking to me, remember? So why would I respond to you if I had already told you that I didn't want to talk to you?
But you don't get it. I don't have anyone else that I can brag about this to. Everyone still remembers that I stole Javi from you, so nobody wanted to help us celebrate our wedding. Even when I tried showing photos to my friends, the messages were just left on not delivered, so I think a bunch of people have blocked me. Even our parents haven't said anything to me. You're the only person that I can talk to about this at all.
Right. Well, if everyone else has blocked you, maybe I should just go ahead and do the same thing then.
Wait, no, you can't do that. I mean, if I don't have you to talk to, then who am I supposed to brag about my amazing life to? Please, you can't do this. Even though it was small, it really was an amazing wedding. You have to be there so that I can send you messages about how great my life is. Don't you want to hear about just how amazing my wedding was?
What are you even talking about, Cassidy?
I'm talking about how now that Javi and I are married, we're going to move in together and he's already gotten this really huge, amazing condo, and I want to brag to people about it and they're blocking me.
And just why on earth do you think that I would want to subject myself to any of that coming from you? I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised about your wedding. I really didn't know that many people had blocked you over this.
Well, they all just make assumptions about my marriage, all because it's your ex-husband. That's why I told Javi that he had to make sure that our wedding was even better than the one that you two had. I thought that if it was this huge, even that a bunch of people would show up, but nobody did. But a bunch of Javi's family and friends showed up, so that was nice of them at least.
Wow, that would honestly really depress the hell out of me if I didn't have my loved ones at my wedding.
Well, I wasn't sad in the slightest. I mean, it just meant that there was more room and food for everyone else to enjoy themselves. Who cares if none of my family or friends were there?
Do you really feel that way? You don't have to pretend for me. I really don't care either way.
Of course I feel that way. It was a great wedding, and now I finally get to live my dream life of being a housewife. I don't have to work, and I can do fun stuff around the house all day, like sitting and pacing. Sometimes I even get to go out and do some shopping so that I can cook dinner. It really is the dream. Yeah, this is what I always wanted. It's a much more fulfilling life than you have, I bet.
Yeah, it sounds like you're only doing things that I've only dreamed of.
That's right. I'm sure that you're basically on the edge of being homeless every day. You wish that you had the luxuries that I do. But I suppose most people would probably kill to be in my shoes right now. I mean, you really must be living in some kind of pathetic little shack or something. Maybe you have a bunch of roommates and you all have to take turns using that one toilet. But I guess that's just how poor people with no money have to live their lives. Thank goodness that isn't me. I could never.
Can you please stop making so many baseless assumptions about my life? You seriously have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm sorry. You probably don't even have a real place. You probably just work at some factory and go sleep in the factory housing or something. Maybe you have to put in quarters in the showers because you don't even have your own bathroom at all. Oh man, that's so funny to think about. Imagine how horrible that must be. Oh man, that's so funny. I think I could cry.
What in the world makes you think any of what you're saying about me is true?
Well, it has to be. I mean, you're still not married, so there's no way your life is anything but that. You're just a sad, pathetic loser, and that's all you will ever be until you get married again. And until that day comes, you'll just be living in your sad little shack with all your sad little roommates from your sad little factory job. You're like some kind of adult Oliver Twist, but you're still in your 30s, and you're still not married. Oh man, I am seriously laughing so much that my stomach is hurting.
Seriously? What is the matter with you? Are you really laughing so hard at your own messed up delusions?
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure that one day someone is going to want to marry a divorced old hag like you. As if, right? One of these days you'll have to tell me all about your sad, pathetic little life.
Well, for starters, my sad, pathetic house costs $1 million, so...
Wait, what? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the condo where I live downtown. I'm sure that it might not compare to the kinds of McMansions that you see out in the suburbs, but I'm very, very happy with it. The location and size and everything is just about perfect for me. Not to mention it's right by the coast, so I get to wake up to sea breeze and an ocean view every morning.
But wait, your house costs $1 million? That doesn't make any sense at all. How can someone like you afford to live there? There's no way that some sad little assembly line job can get you a place like that. How can you afford to live right on the coast? That isn't fair.
I already told you that you had no idea what you were talking about in the slightest. But 3 years ago, when Xavier left me for you, I decided to go and start my own business. It took a lot of work and effort, but now I'm valued at millions of dollars.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. How can that be? I had no idea that you went and started your own business. This can't be right. You're lying to me. I just know it.
Do you really think that I would lie to you about something like this?
Of course you are. There's no way that any of that is true at all. I refuse to believe that you've done so well for yourself. I mean, I stole your husband and he was supposed to be your ticket to the good life. There's no way that you made it so far all by yourself. You're not supposed to do that.
Why not? Because I was a housewife when I was married to Xavier? Well, while I was in the house all day, I was working hard to perfect my craft as a graphic designer. I posted my work on a bunch of places and managed to save up a fair bit for myself by the time that you and Xavier ran off together.
And now you've gone and made all that money just being a graphic designer?
Well, you remember how I was always into artsy things when I was little, right? Well, I had so much time around the house that I wanted to get back into art, and I really worked at my skill. Xavier would always get mad at me for doing it since he thought I could never make any real money from it, but I guess it shows what he knows.
So then what? You're some kind of professional, full-time artiste or something? And you make hundreds of thousands of dollars?
No, nothing like that. I did try and self-publish a couple of things at first, but it never really went anywhere. Although my work was good enough to catch the eyes of some people who invested into my company when I started it. And now it's a huge success.
So then you're really the head of your own illustration company?
I am, although I can't really say that I have all that many employees or anything. But we all work together on really big projects that bring in a lot for us. In fact, your ex-boyfriend Jeremy even works for me. I don't think we would have gotten as far as we did in our job without him, to be honest.
Wait a second, what? Are you kidding me? Does Jeremy really work for you?
That's right. I felt so bad for the way you treated him, but remember that he was also a really good artist. So when I started my company, I reached out to him and asked if he'd like to come and work for me. He said he'd love to since he was having such a hard time finding work after you left him. And ever since I hired him, he's been basically my best employee ever since.
But I had no idea that someone like Jeremy was any good at anything.
Well, he really is. I think he's actually making something like $100,000 a year or so now.
He's really making that much money. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, he's always punctual and quick to turn in his work. All of our clients are fighting over him. He's a solid pillar of my company as by himself, so I make sure that he's well paid. And thanks to him, we've been attracting even more larger clients who are all hoping to have the Jeremy touch to their project. I think we even recently took a contract from the company that Xavier works for.
Oh, wait a second. Are you serious? You're really working with Javi's company right now? But they're huge. They could work with anyone they wanted to.
That's right. But I guess the CEO really liked our work, and so he signed us on for a huge ad campaign.
I don't believe it. I really just don't know what to say at all. You started your own company and now you're doing so well. Not only that, but you hired my ex-boyfriend who was making $100,000 a year. That's even more than he was making at his old job.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Darn, now that I think about it, I really should have gone to your wedding after all. You said that a bunch of Xavier's coworkers were there, right? Was the CEO?
Yes, he was actually. Javi is a really good employee and he wanted to make a good impression, so he invited the CEO of his company.
Well, shoot, I should have gone to formally meet him. We've been chatting over email for some time now. But I guess then I would have been the only person on your side of the wedding who would have shown up, right? That would probably be pretty awkward.
Sis, I can't be with Javi anymore. You can have him back.
What are you talking about? Why would I ever take Xavier back? Why would you even think that I want him back?
Fine, whatever. Don't take him back. I don't care. I just need to get with Jeremy. He makes way more money than Javi does.
Well, I really don't think that Jeremy wants anything to do with you at all.
What are you talking about? You don't think he'll take me back? He's still totally obsessed with me, isn't he?
I really don't think so. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's already engaged to be married, in fact.
Hold on, what? You have to be kidding me. I already told Javi that I wanted a divorce. We already signed the paperwork for it.
Wait, what? You've already split up with Xavier? Are you crazy or something?
It's true. I really thought that Jeremy would still be all lonely and depressed without me. When you told me that he was such a successful artist, I thought it was because he was so depressed. I mean, that's why artists are good, right? I figured he must have still been upset over losing me, and that's why his art was so good, so I was sure he would take me back.
Oh, well, that's stupid of you. I'm pretty sure he's doing so well because I gave him a second chance at life and he's engaged. His art is coming from a good place, if you ask me.
But what am I supposed to do? I already packed up my bags and I'm living in a hotel now. I was going to reach out to Jeremy and tell him that I'm ready for him to take me back whenever. I don't have enough money to stay here forever.
Dang, well, those all sound like you problems. In fact, I never want you to come to me with any of your problems or bragging again. I'm going to do what I should have done a long time ago and block you.
No, wait, you can't do this to me. Please don't leave me. You're all I have left.
I heard through the grapevine that after Cassidy left him, Xavier's performance plummeted, and soon he was sent to work in the boiler room of his company, far away from any chance at promotion. As for Cassidy, she had to quickly sell a bunch of her stuff and move into a new place. I hear that she's sharing a one-bedroom apartment with 5 other people, and they all have to share a single toilet. As for Jeremy, he continues to be my star artist and even invited me to his wedding, which I wait to attend. As for myself, business is going along as usual. I do always feel bad that Cassidy and I could never patch things up, but I just couldn't stand her interfering in my life anymore.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Layla, where are you right now? Everyone is out looking for you right now.
Kinsey, I have realized something very important. I see that we only have one shot at life, right?
Wait, what? Did you think that we had more chances at starting a new life?
Well, if there is only one life that we can live, I should be living my life the way I want to, right?
But where are you right now, Layla?
I'm at the train station,
What train station?
close to where I've been living.
Huh? But that station is like an hour's walk away from your house. And there's only 30 minutes left until the wedding ceremony begins.
I am not getting married.
Hold on, Layla, what are you saying? Today is the day of your wedding, right? And everyone you invited are already here waiting for you to marry the groom. And after telling everyone for the longest time you were going to get married, you're not? What the hell has happened to you?
It turns out that I don't want to get married anymore. And I just want you to know that this isn't some sort of confusion on my part.
You really don't want to get married then? But if you really didn't want to, then you should have told everyone that before your big day, right? Right now, everyone is worried because we don't know where you ran off to.
Well, I plan to move away now.
My head is starting to hurt. Are you kidding me? You're going to move away now?
If I continue to live in the house I've been in, my fiance will come looking for me, right? And you, Mom, and Dad all know where I was living, so I couldn't hide. And so I've decided I'll move far away and start my life over again and live it the way I want to.
But that's just what you think would happen. Are you actually planning to do all of this today?
I know that you'd all come after me, so that's why I chose today to run while you all are busy. Now, take care of that wedding for me, could you?
What do you want me to do about your wedding? Come back here and take responsibility for your own wedding, Layla. This has nothing to do with me, right?
But you're my older sister, Kinsey.
Even though I'm your big sister, you running away from your wedding is not something I need to be responsible for. You have to come back here and apologize to your fiancé for this, okay?
Now that you bring him up, I never chose to be with him.
But you were the one that chose to ask his hand in marriage, right?
He's the guy that Mom and Dad brought to me to go out with.
You kept saying that you wanted to get married and asked them over and over again to introduce you to a good-looking man. And so Mom and Dad did exactly that for you.
But I thought they'd bring me someone a bit better looking than him. If only there was another man that I could have chosen with a bit better of a face.
Huh? I just have to ask this for my own interest. But you haven't been with any other men this whole time, right?
I don't care about him anymore, so we don't have to keep talking about this.
Hey, Layla?
I'm telling you that my fiancé looks good and all, but he's only a simple office man. And he's working in the same company as Dad, right?
I've heard he works under Dad, but...
So that means that even at his best, he'd be doing the same as Dad. I hate simple people like that. I want to become someone that has a lot of money, you know? And having to be with an office worker making the same as pretty much every other man is not going to happen to me.
So you're being that selfish again, huh? Can you stop trying to think of only yourself when it comes to things involving others? I don't care who you plan to get married to, but making other people have to go through trouble for you is not okay.
But they have you there, so you can do something to ease the pain for everyone, right?
Stop playing around, Layla. I am well aware that you are a pretty selfish woman when it comes to money and things like that. But what you're doing now is taking things way too far. You're already an adult now, okay? And when you chose to get married and chose to have a wedding, you made both those decisions yourself, right? So if you don't want to go through with all this anymore, you need to come back here and clean up the mess.
Well, I don't like having to deal with anything troubling, and all that other crap like people's feelings is just too much for me. I'll leave all that to you.
I am not going to clean up your mess. I may be your older sister, but I am not some kind of assistant to you.
But having you as my older sister go in front of everyone and say you're sorry for my actions should work out, right?
But why do I have to be the one saying sorry for your selfish actions?
Because that's what big sisters are for, right? You want to take care of your cute little sister, so you'll do anything to make sure they stay happy.
But when you cancel on a wedding with your fiancé, that's like something out of an old drama or something. Do you not see just how many problems this is going to cause for everyone here?
There will not be that many problems, Kinsey. You just have everyone start eating and drinking, and then you can all get drunk and have a laugh over this.
But you just went and left the wedding without saying a word to anyone, so you're going to have to pay for the wedding being canceled. And your fiancé is also going to want you to pay him a settlement for the trouble you caused. And you're going to have to apologize to all the guests that came here today taking time out of their busy lives. And finally, you're going to have to tell his parents why you chose to not marry him in the end.
All right then. Why don't you take my place in the wedding?
Huh? What is wrong with you?
You and I are about the same height, although my breasts are a bit bigger. But you can fit into my dress and pull it off, I think. And you're single right now with no boyfriend or anything holding you down. This will be perfect for you. So instead of me, you can get married today.
Come back to reality right now. I am not going to be taking your place as the bride today. I don't want to get married yet, and I will not be taking over your wedding to do so.
The train's here. So I'm going to leave now. I plan to become happy again, so you go ahead and make yourself happy as well. Bye-bye.
Hold it right there, Layla. Don't even try blocking me. Layla? Mom, where are you? Dad even told me that he hasn't seen you anywhere yet.
Hi, Kinsey. Thank you.
Huh? What?
Your dad and I are leaving right now. Layla didn't end up coming to her own wedding, and so there was no reason for us to stay there, right? And so that's why we left already.
Hold on, Mom! You just left me all alone here by myself? What am I going to do now?
I'd like you to tell all the guests about how our daughter will no longer be coming to that wedding and the reason why. And whatever happens after that, I'd also like you to deal with.
You're leaving this all to me?
As well as the talks about the cost of the wedding. You can already tell that his family is getting upset, right? Try your best and get them to not think about getting a settlement from Layla, okay?
They have a right to be mad at her, though. She literally canceled on the wedding and ran away.
And I want you to be the one apologizing for that. You're good with all that stuff, right? I think you'll be able to handle everything that has to do with the money side of things as well. This has nothing to do with me or your dad, after all.
What do you mean it has nothing to do with you two? Layla is your daughter, right? And what do you mean I'm good at this stuff? I don't ever remember being really good at apologizing for other people's mistakes.
I'm saying that you've always been good at controlling other people's emotions.
Are you talking about how in the past I'd always be there to talk Layla out of getting punished and things like that?
And that made you a great big sister.
Come on, Mom. The only reason she was ever able to get away with things is because you and Dad would always spoil her. And whenever there were any problems, you'd have me come in and handle it.
Don't try and make it sound like we pushed things off on you.
But it's the truth. Whenever I was with Layla and she'd throw a ball and break the window, you'd blame me for it. And when we'd be at a friend's house and she'd damage some of their things, I'd be blamed for it. You guys always made me have to be the one to deal with all her mistakes.
And that's because you're the big sister. It's your job to take care of your little sister, right?
But you guys are making me take her place when she needs to learn herself that what she's done is wrong. But now that you've been doing that all her life, she's never learned that her actions have consequences that can hurt other people. And that's why this whole situation with her wedding has happened. She's an adult, for crying out loud.
And I can see that this time she took things a bit too far. And so, after this, we plan to punish her if she ever comes back to our house.
For the time being, can you guys come back here to help me with her fiancé's parents? If we don't apologize to them and handle this, they'll be very upset.
It should be more than enough to have you there apologizing for all of this.
Are you kidding me?
And that's why I've been asking you to take care of everything for us and that I was thankful. When you have the whole mess cleaned up, you let me and your father know.
So in other words, not only is Layla not taking responsibility for this, but neither are you and Dad?
Well, it's not our fault that Layla decided to cancel out of nowhere on her own wedding like that.
But she's your kid, and you have to take responsibility for that.
Well, she's an adult now and has a life of her own. And she moved out of our house a while back. So there's no reason for us to be responsible for her anymore.
Why are you all so irresponsible?
If you want to keep passing the responsibility around like that, maybe it's time you take it. I think that your father and I don't have to take any responsibility for what's happened today. But you do feel like someone has to be responsible, right? Well then, go ahead and take it so that this can all be dealt with.
There's no reason for me to be taking it either, though.
Well, you're the only one there from the immediate family, right? So it's all on your shoulders now. So make sure you clean it all up with nothing remaining, okay? And do not bring a single speck of trouble home with you.
You're lying, right? Mom, come on! Do not leave me here all by myself in the middle of Layla's problem!
I stopped blocking you, Kenzie. It's been so long now. How are you doing?
Layla? After leaving your wedding without telling anyone and then blocking me when you finally did respond after telling me that you were going to run away? What do you want from me?
Really? You're still upset over all of that? A woman that can't let go of the past is scary.
If you don't have anything for me, can we be done here? I'm working right now anyway.
You're still living with Mom and Dad, right?
Ever since I got out of college, I've been living there. What about it?
I knew it. Let me guess, you're also still single. If you keep living with them, you're going to stay single forever.
So did you unblock me just to tell me something like that?
Actually, I'm thinking of coming back home.
What? You're coming home now? What are you talking about?
I had a lot of things going on for the past 3 years, Kenzie. But I think that I'm done with all of them and plan to come back and live with Mom and Dad.
Wait! I have a lot of things I'd like to say as well then. Are you actually saying you want to come back here? It's because of you that I had to deal with a lot of bullcrap.
If you're talking about that wedding, that's in the past now.
Well, after realizing that you had canceled on the wedding, both Mom and Dad left back to the house as well. And they left me there to clean up your mess.
And?
I had to apologize to every single person there, and that day has gone down as the worst in my life. I had to literally go up to the parents of your fiancé and ask them to forgive you and our family over and over again with all my will.
Great job, Kenzie. Thank you so much for being there for me.
Before I get any thanks from you, I'd like an apology.
I understand that you had all of that happen to you, but I have a new fiancé and I want to come back home to get married.
Don't you dare forget about what happened to me. And you have another fiancé now? You're not on your own right now?
Nope. And he told me that it'd be okay if I lived with Mom and Dad, so I thought I'd be nice and give him the chance to live with Mom, Dad, and myself at their house. And so I'd like you to get out of there.
What?
If you're still living there, you're getting in the way, right? And I plan to make your current room into the room him and I can start making love in. So the parasite still living in their parents' house needs to get out.
Well, that house isn't there anymore, though.
Huh? Yeah, there's no way that could be possible.
It's because of you that it went bye-bye.
Because of me? What are you going on about?
We had to sell it 3 years ago. Look, you canceled last minute on your own wedding, right? We had to pay for all the wedding and for the settlement your then fiancé had asked for, and we didn't have the money for that. And so Mom and Dad sold the house and used that money to pay them.
Hold on a second. I left you to handle everything for me, didn't I?
Well, those people didn't just want me to apologize to them. They also asked that I pay for all of the wedding and for the settlement. And because it was your wedding that you dipped out on last second, your fiancé's parents were so upset with me that they would not let me leave without promising to give them the money they asked for. They were at the point that I feared for my life, that someone might kill me.
Well, maybe you should have been a bit more kind to them.
Realize that they aren't only pissed at me for what happened, and they are also pissed at Mom and Dad.
What do you mean?
You pushed all your responsibilities on me and ran, and then Mom and Dad left the wedding with no such thing as a single apology to his family. And when his parents learned that I was the only one trying to save our family, they lost all faith in our parents and you. But luckily, in the end of things, they saw that since I stayed and took the responsibility that was not mine, they forgave me. They told me that I didn't have to be the one to pay them for the money they asked for.
So you're saying that Mom and Dad took care of all of it?
Well, it should have been you paying, but since you were a little dog about it, Mom and Dad had to. And ever since that day, I have not felt any remorse for Mom and Dad and feel no need to care for them. And I left their home as soon as I could.
Then you lied to me and you're not actually with them anymore.
Well, back when I was going to college, I was able to save a little bit of money by living with Mom and Dad. And then even after that, I continued to stay with them to save up a lot of my own money.
What?
And I had planned to give them some money back for helping pay my tuition. But I also had a scholarship that helped pay for most of my schooling, and so I was able to pay them back through chores around the house since it wasn't that much. However, when you had canceled on your wedding, I made sure to pay them whatever remained with that money I'd saved up and got right out of their house.
Then where are you living at now?
In a penthouse, but that's all I'm saying.
A penthouse? Why the heck are you able to live in a penthouse right now?
Because I'm a married woman, and my husband is a business owner. And so I moved into the penthouse that he had been living in alone while he was single.
Wait, you're lying, right? Why are you able to have such an amazing life now with a husband who has all that money?
Well, anyway, that's the reason there's no more home left for you to go back to. And so you can't come back. When I was leaving the house, Mom told me that I was disowned for leaving them to take care of their mess. And since then, I haven't gotten a single message from either Mom or Dad. So I have no clue where they are or what they're doing at this moment.
Then where should I go now? I'm going to be having a baby soon.
You're going to give birth? Are you actually pregnant right now, Layla?
Yeah, I did become pregnant, and since I'll be needing money and support, I thought I'd go back to Mom and Dad's house to live. And I thought that Mom and Dad would be happy to have me back and all.
Well, this has nothing to do with me then. If you happen to have their numbers still, why not try giving them a call? However, I don't think they're going to help you paint a happy life for yourself.
Hey, Kenzie. Since when have you become married? And when did your husband turn out to be a business owner, allowing you to live in a penthouse?
You disowned me, so I thought that meant we had cut ties, right? Why are you trying to talk to me now? Did you actually want to know that I was getting married back then?
I want to talk about how your husband has money right now. What penthouse are you guys living in? If you happen to have another room in that penthouse, then your dad and I are going to be living there shortly. Do you have kids yet? If you do, then you can leave them in my care while you go out.
If you're looking for a grandbaby, it would be in Layla's belly. So go help care for hers, okay? She is your favorite daughter, after all.
That girl is trying to get us to give her money right now. And when she told us about getting married, she also said her fiancé is jobless. If she doesn't have the money, she should get a job or something. Do something with her life, right? I don't want her coming to us for money right now.
Well, she did say she wanted to become wealthy, didn't she? Guess she never could make it that high. Well, I guess I knew that with the way she acted, nobody with money would be looking to marry her.
Compared to a parasitic daughter asking for money, we'd rather have the daughter that's doing well with her wealthy husband. You know that ever since we had to sell the house, things have been tough for us, right? You also know about how the man that Layla was supposed to marry worked under your dad, right? Because of that, work became difficult for your dad, and right now he's no longer working there. I can't deal with living in this cheap and raggedy apartment anymore, you know? I'd love to see what it's like to live in a penthouse.
Well, I plan to stay as far away as I can from you guys. And so I'd like you guys to no longer talk to me after this.
What are you saying, Kenzie? You want to live with your mom and dad, right? Right. You were home with us that whole time after you graduated, right?
That was because we promised to do that so that I could pay you back for paying my tuition. And I've paid you back for all of it, right?
But ever since you've left us, you've been so cold.
But that might have to do with you and Dad leaving me at Layla's wedding to clean up all the mess for you three.
But when our life began to go downhill, nobody came to help us.
Well, you both and Layla used me so often to take care of all your guys' troubles that when the day came you actually needed help, I was all used up. I am not your scapegoat, okay? I had enough of your problems and made sure that the next time you needed me, you took the time to deal with your own problems.
I feel so sorry for spoiling Layla so much instead of spoiling you as well. And so I want to apologize to you for all of that. So, please tell us your address. I want to see your husband as well. And since he has his own company and all, he should be able to support your dad and I as well, right? Right, Kinsey? Kenzie, tell us your address. I am not allowed to go back to mom and dad, so I'll be coming to live with you.
Nope.
But your little sister is in trouble again.
Why not try living on your own then? Perhaps even go and care for mom and dad now that they're in trouble as well. I am a wife to a loving husband and family now. I have no need to be around you guys.
But you told me that mom had taken care of paying for the wedding and settlement, right? If I'd known you were telling the truth, then I would have never bothered calling them again.
Well, they had to pay for something you should have managed. I'm guessing they want you to pay them back now for all of that, right?
I don't have that kind of money on me. And I have a baby that I need to give birth to. Aren't they being rude? And when I told them about you, they just hung up on me.
Well, just a bit ago, I was talking with Mom.
Those two are the worst parents. If they need me to care for them in the future, I will definitely not. They never bother to help me when I need them most, so this is what they'll get. That's why I'll come to live with you now.
Well, when you were in trouble, you took all that trouble and pushed it onto me. And then you just disappeared forever, leaving me with all the people that were really hurt by you to try and say I was sorry to them. Because of that, I am no longer your sister.
Stop that! Hold on a sec. Don't tell me you're not my sister. If I don't have you anymore, who am I going to go to with my needs?
You have that fiancé of yours and a kid on the way. You can ask them to help you. You have to be ready for when your baby arrives, right?
Help me, Kinsey. Your cute little sister is in trouble right now. I have always thanked you for helping me out.
I'm sorry, but I have never liked having to deal with your responsibilities that you pushed onto me. And even though you're an adult now, you still haven't learned that there are consequences for your actions and that you must deal with them instead of having me do it for you.
Wait, Kinsey, I'm asking you, please.
I think it's my turn to block you. According to what friends and distant family have told me, Layla has been battling Mom and Dad about the money she owes them after they covered for her. They all don't have any money right now, and it seems none of them would like to get a job. They made a truce to all live together and work with whatever money they had to survive, and it seems that the whole conversation about having Layla pay them back has vanished. And recently, it seems the three of them have been going around asking family and friends to lend them some money. But because everyone has heard the stories of what happened, they haven't received a thing.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.